Hey guys, welcome to your weekly rollout video. This week I want to discuss some ways that you can tackle tension and specifically tension headaches. So working very specifically in the back of the neck, the suboccipitals, and working with a couple of different tools. So just a few things before we get started. Put your hair up if you have long hair, especially when you're working in the neck and shoulders, it can get in the way. And then if you have a block handy, and then you'll want one larger well-round ball, therapy ball here, and then your two standard size balls in the tote. So having those things nearby, if you don't have them, go ahead and grab them. A couple things to consider when thinking about tackling tension, stress, and headaches, pain that comes from that kind of holding pattern that the shoulders can be tight and tense, and then that can ripple on up into the neck, the face, the skull, lots of different ways that can transfer. Making sure that you are moving your body daily, that you are hydrated properly, that you're nourished properly, and that you're breathing properly. So just let yourself find a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes and let go of any holding in your belly and just let yourself fill up with breath. And then allow yourself an open mouth exhale. And then we'll do that together just a couple times just to kind of sweep out any initial holdings that are happening before we start to do this therapy ball work. So give yourself another deep breath and an open mouth exhale. And then we'll do that one more time. Breathe in. Exhale, open mouth. All right, so go ahead and open your eyes. We'll begin with the larger therapy ball, so just one. And I'm gonna have you move anything out of the way that might be on your mat, and you're just gonna have the mat, the floor below you. And then you're gonna come to your back, placing the larger therapy ball below the bottom of the skull, so below the occiput, and as centered as you can get it onto that cervical spine, so onto the back of your neck. And for some of us, it might be a little lower, a little higher, but we're working to center it. So as you come down and you do this, you want to make sure that you're not going to tip or fall off. Okay, so bringing yourself to that place. And you can adjust as needed. Ideally, the very top of the ball kind of presses up against the ridge where your skull begins to protrude a little bit. So find that place and then let the weight of your head just rest. And if this is too much, you can sit up, place a blanket over the ball, and then come back down. So that's one way to modify this. So you're just gonna let yourself come back to the breathing. Take a couple of deep breaths into your belly, maybe some of those open mouth exhales if that's helpful to you. And with each exhale, you're just working to release the weight of your head even more. You can stay here as long as you like. This is kind of a condensed video, so if you want to stay here, this feels great and you're just really getting little bits of relief with each breath, you can continue. When you're ready to move on, you're going to start to slide your gaze over to the left, and as you look towards the left, you should feel the therapy ball roll onto the cord-like muscle on the back of your neck on the left side. So looking over towards the left, and then you're just doing the same thing. So you're just letting the weight of the head go, taking some breath here. And you might even, rather than looking left and right or moving in that way, you might even tilt your head back or bring chin towards chest. So just finding a little bit of that movement and mobility in your neck as you breathe. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And remembering that each exhale just serves to offer you that opportunity to rest in the moment, to release the weight of your head and just kind of let go a little bit more. And again, if you have a little bit more time, you can stay doing the work here on the left side, finding maybe little bits of movement or another position. But for the sake of time, just moving on. So we're going to start to gaze over the right shoulder. Starting to feel that therapy ball pressing into the right side cord that goes with the right side of the neck. And then letting the weight of the head go. And finding some breath here. A little bit of movement is okay. Making sure that you feel stable though, and like you're not going to fall off of this ball. And so that you feel fully comfortable in relaxing and releasing with each exhale. And this can create quite a bit of sensation. These are trigger points. So always back off or modify if it feels like too much. Let's take another breath. Again, feel free to stay if this side needs a little more or if you did on the first side. So you can always pause this and explore a little bit more into your own body and then come back. All right, so we're going to come back to center. We'll go ahead and take that away and then just take a moment for some proprioception. And proprioception just means that we are noticing, we are aware of, we are engaged with the body through the mind. So noticing how it felt before and how it feels now in the back of your neck, in the space you just worked. And you might feel that all the way into the forehead or the jaw, or you might feel it all the way down into the shoulders or the upper back. It's not always exactly where we've been doing the work. And so just another breath or so here before we move on. And then moving on, I'll show you one more technique to release and erase headaches. We're gonna reach for our 2 therapy balls in the tote. We're gonna place a block back where our head rests, and then we're gonna place that therapy ball between the bottom of the skull. So a similar place that we were working before, and between the head and the block. So go ahead and come back down, take your time to get there. You can scoot that block in pretty close to you. And then you're just gonna start up high. So connecting where the neck connects to the skull and then the weight of the head rests. So same thing, couple deep breaths. And here we have a little more stability, a little bit of a different sensation. So you're welcome to take a little movement, inhaling to tilt the head up and back, and then exhaling to bring the chin down towards the chest, or saying no, right, to the headache, the stress, the tension, and letting that no motion with the head, just that rotation of the neck, move left and right. Maybe you find that you want to linger on one side, on the left or right side, just a little longer. And that's fine too. Usually there's a side that maybe is a little bit more dysfunctional or gets used a little bit too much or not enough. And so just kind of tapping into that proprioception here, bringing your mind, your awareness to your body. And then again, you're welcome to pause this and continue this work here in this section. Or you're welcome to move on, bringing the 2 balls in the tote down just a little bit further to the sort of center of the cervical spine. So if this is uncomfortable for you, again, you can always take a blanket and lay it on over these therapy balls for modification. And we're just going to let the weight of the head go, take a couple breaths. And then as you're breathing again, you might begin to move a little forward and back, up and down, left and right. There's really no right or wrong. The neck moves many different directions, so you can rotate it or move it or flex it or extend it in any way that feels like it's going to facilitate the release you're looking for here. And then allow yourself to stay in this practice in this section for as long as you like. And depending on your anatomy, if you have maybe one more click to kind of drop it down towards where the cervical spine meets thoracic spine, the upper back meets the neck, you can place it a little lower and find the same type of practice. A couple deep breaths, a little bit of movement, and just allowing yourself to create a little space here in the back of the neck. You can stay here and you can do this just as long as you would like. So you can repeat coming up through the same 3 sections. You can come back to using the larger ball. There's really no right or wrong. So this is your tension headache releasing video. Hopefully that's helpful to some of you who might be experiencing some of this tension and pain. So you can always refer back to this video when you need it. Really, really makes a big difference to do this work. If you are prone to headaches and migraines, doing just a little bit of this work every day really can help to even prevent them. So give that a try. Let me know what you think, and thanks for joining. Namaste.